So, Pratham, hypothetically, if I could edit one thing about you right now, physically, mentally, or genetically, what would you change?
That's easy. I mean, I give myself the ability just to function on 2 hours of sleep and still be able to bounce back and ace a calculus exam, right?
I mean, that's not gene editing, that's just sorcery. That there's no like straightforward way to do that, okay?
But just imagine if it wasn't sorcery. Imagine if you could actually upgrade yourself. Not caffeine, not that we drink any coffee
Yeah, we don't,
anyways,
yeah.
but like not any kind of hacks, but literally just rewriting our DNA. We can boost memory, muscles, and also maybe immunity.
That's not as far-fetched as it sounds to everyone else.
Yeah.
Because the toolkit, which is CRISPR, is already here.
That's true.
And it's changing biology faster than we can keep up with.
Yeah, okay. So give me the basics before we get really lost in the buzzwords, right? What even is CRISPR to start with?
So think of CRISPR as a molecular cut and paste tool, basically. Control C, Control V.
Yeah.
But originally, it wasn't built for us. It was discovered in bacteria. When viruses attack bacteria, the bacteria keep getting these so-called genetic mugshots or snapshots as kind of those viruses in their own DNA, like a library of wanted posters.
Basically like a biological FBI database, right?
Yeah, they have all the data of everyone, basically, all the viruses.
Yeah.
And when the virus shows up again, that same virus, like it's a repeat offender basically, then an enzyme called Cas9. That enzyme basically is the FBI employee that uses those previous mugshot database as GPS coordinates to find those virus DNAs and slices those viruses up before they cause any damage.
And and then scientists maybe came along and said, wait a second, if Cas9 can be told where exactly to cut, then maybe we can tell it to cut any kind of DNA sequence that we want.
And that's the winning bingo card basically. You've hijacked the system. Instead of fighting viruses, Cas9 could now target any gene in any organism rather than targeting only the bad guys.
That's true.
You can give it a guide RNA like ribonucleic acid. I'm not telling you, I'm just saying.
I know.
Instead of deoxyribo, which is DNA.
Yes.
So you can give it a guide RNA, which is kind of like an address or directions, and Cas9 goes to that spot in the genome and cuts it. The cell, when it's trying to repair the cut, sometimes introduces mutations or it allows us to slip in new DNA. That's where the editing part of it comes in.
Yeah. So CRISPR basically became the new Swiss Army knife of genetics.
Yeah.
It's like a cheap, accessible way for medical labs or any kind of scientist labs even worldwide to edit life itself.
And spoiler, maybe edit and create new life itself.
Maybe.
I mean, it's revolutionary, right?
Yeah.
But like all first-gen tools, it has a few problems. It's not perfect.
So what was exactly wrong with it though?
The problem is bluntness. It's like a blunt knife, basically. It makes double.
Swiss Army knife.
Yeah. So yeah. It basically, the technical term for it is it makes double strand breaks. Basically, it literally chops both sides of the DNA ladder, and when cells rush to repair those two breaks, they're sloppy because you can end up with random insertions, deletions, or edits in unintended places. So it's an unintended side result, basically. Bad product.
It's like trying to fix a typo by tearing out the whole page instead of just your book. Out of your book.
So tearing one page instead of one word.
Yeah.
That's exactly why scientists asked, can we make this more precise? Like less like a chainsaw, more like a scalpel.
And now enter base editing.
Right. Base editing is basically mainly about surgical precision. Okay. It's all about the preciseness, accuracy. Okay.
I see.
Yeah. Instead of cutting it, it chemically swaps one DNA for another. Think of it like a typo correction, except you're not tearing pages out of your book. You're changing a single letter, let's say A to G or C to T. It's those four bases. Yeah, adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine.
Yeah, in bio.
Those four. So like with the complementary bases of that.
Yeah, but you can't do that with every letter.
There's not every single combination.
Yeah.
Because it's limited to certain swaps. Yeah. But here's the kicker though. Nearly 60% of known genetic diseases come from single letter mutations.
That's crazy.
So even if you fix a fraction of those, with those single letter changes which we have available, it's huge.
Yeah. And for example?
One example is sickle cell disease, basically.
Yeah.
It's a basically, under that, you can get sickle cell anemia, which is what we've learned in grade 9 and 10 biology,
Yeah,
ICIC kind of thing. For example, to give an example of sickle cell, in 2019, a woman named Victoria Gray volunteered for a CRISPR based trial.
Okay.
One of a kind, basically.
Yeah.
The doctors edited her stem cells to reactivate fetal hemoglobin, which doesn't sickle. And within months, her symptoms improved dramatically, and she went from constant pain to living a nearly normal life.
That's mind blowing. I mean, just imagine telling people 10 years ago that you could fix a lifelong disease by just rewriting one letter of their DNA.
Damn, so many people would be sad that it wasn't invented a bit earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's just one case of Victoria Gray.
Yeah.
Trials are underway for cancers, muscular dystrophy, and even rare metabolic disorders. So there's a lot going on.
But like everything that exists in this real world,
Nothing's perfect.
exactly. Base editing also has its limitations. What if you want to do just more than typos?
That's where prime editing comes in. Not the Mr. Beast prime bottles. This is a different thing, okay? Imagine you're editing a Google Doc, okay?
Yeah.
Or a Word document.
Yeah.
Base editing is fixing spelling errors, like Grammarly.
The extreme base version of Grammarly that came out like many years ago.
the startup Grammarly, when Grammarly was a startup.
Yes.
So prime editing lets you delete whole sentences, rewrite paragraphs, or insert new ones without tearing the page of the book.
Basically like Grammarly is right now.
Yeah.
But it's paid. So
I mean, there is a free version.
yeah,
Which-
but that gives me like
which is
okay,
helpful.
one thing,
3 pro suggestions a day.
whatever it is. So how is that possible anyways for like your prime editing to do that?
Instead of a full cut, prime editing basically uses Cas9 nickase, which is basically named after it's named like that because it creates a tiny nick on one strand, basically. And it fuses it with an enzyme called reverse transcriptase.
So there are too many enzymes. There's Cas9, there is reverse transcriptase.
And I don't know who
nickase,
names these though. It's
Whatever it
reverse transcriptase. What is that?
It's a little complex. That's all I'm gonna say. Like I know biology isn't my thing, but still, it's very complex.
Yeah. Anyways, that enzyme called reverse transcriptase, at least it's easy to pronounce. It's like a normal word.
It's not some weird French name that was from the 17th, 18th
Yeah.
century.
The enzyme reads a special RNA template called a PEG RNA, and it rewrites that sequence into the DNA.
So the cell doesn't just repair; it literally follows new instructions.
Exactly. Scientists have used prime editing to correct mutations responsible for a disease called Tay-Sachs disease. I spoke too soon on the
Goldman Sachs
pronunciation.
is better, but Tay-Sachs.
Kind of bad.
Still fine,
It's a
still fine.
fatal disorder with no cure. It's very bad.
Yeah.
It's a very dangerous disease.
This
Okay.
just turned very dark. Very
From
fast.
Goldman Sachs,
Yeah.
from gold to black. Okay. Suddenly, we're not just fixing typos, we're rewriting the book.
I mean, I should not laugh. That's dangerously powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
But humans aren't the only organisms with DNA, right?
Not at all, yeah.
Well, scientists could be editing a lot more. What else are they editing?
Agriculture is big. Because CRISPR is being used right now and has been used to already make, for example, rice resistant to flooding, wheat resistant to fungal infections, even non-browning mushrooms. For example, in Japan, you can already buy CRISPR-edited tomatoes with higher GABA, which may help lower blood pressure. Like all these gene-edited items are on the market in the world.
Yeah. Like, just imagine your salad being casually gene edited.
Yeah, my Caesar salad that I have in like half the restaurants I go to, this is gene edited. I mean, the ethics of gene editing, especially on humans and on other creatures, it's a bit sketchy. But like, yeah, I mean, because normal people they want like natural stuff.
Yeah.
You want the nature, calm vibes. Anyways, conservation is another field. Because in California, researchers are using CRISPR to change mosquitoes, their genes, so that they can't carry the parasite that causes malaria. They then went a step further using a tool called Gene Drive to spread that change quickly through the entire mosquito population in that area to basically make all of them malaria resistant and gene edited because they can repopulate very fast, right?
Wow. I mean, gene drive, it sounds ominous, but maybe it's really effective.
Yeah, normally you have a 50% chance of passing on a gene. A gene drive ensures that nearly 100% of that gene passes on to the offspring,
Wow.
basically. So if you release a handful of edited mosquitoes, and within a few generations, because again, as I said, they
Yeah.
repopulate very fast, they're
Yeah.
mosquitoes. They've got a lot of eggs. Within a few generations, the entire population carries the trait.
So in theory, you could wipe out malaria by just rewriting mosquito DNA.
In theory, yes, that's the hope. But ecosystems are very, very delicate. It's not a food chain; it's a food web. That's the thing that school doesn't teach us. It's
Yeah.
always a food web. Everything is linked to everything. Basically.
Yeah.
It's all linked.
Butterfly effect. Butterfly effect.
Butterfly effect. Yeah.
A tornado in
In-
Brazil, in Texas, sorry, can be caused by the flap of a butterfly's wings in
In-
Brazil as well.
Yes.
It's very real. We
Yeah.
don't know it.
Yeah. Because if you mess with one species, that's a real world consequence. Because if you mess with one species, for example, in this case, mosquitoes and malaria, you risk cascading effects throughout the entire world, which we may not know right now. We may not have any clue about
Yeah.
that.
It's like Jurassic Park all over again. I mean, those crazy scientists were so preoccupied with whether they could, they didn't stop to think if they really should.
Great rhyme. Have you watched the movie? The latest one, Chris Pratt
No,
one?
I just
Like
memorized.
all of them. are
I
Chris
just
Pratt.
memorized this line. I don't even know which Jurassic Park movie it is from, but it sounded really, really nice while I was researching. So I just did it. Okay, don't judge.
Okay,
You're
fine.
welcome to judge.
I've watched every Jurassic Park bro multiple times.
No,
Fine.
yes.
Okay, fine. Beyond mosquitoes,
Yes.
people are exploring CRISPR for coral reefs.
Yeah.
The basically which 98% of it are not
It's gone.
alive anymore. That's why Jerry Rig Everything made a video on them. Very nice. Surfing video.
Alright.
Scuba diving kind of thing.
Yeah.
So basically they're making corals more heat resistant to survive climate change. Instead of doing this, we should actually stop climate change first rather than making corals adaptive. That's
true.
more important.
That's true, but hey, I would still love to live in a world that has climate change and still has coral reefs rather than be living in a world that has no climate change and no coral reefs, because coral reefs are important.
Yeah, but no climate change and yes, coral reefs is the way to go.
Yeah, but you can't have everything, right? Nothing
No,
is perfect, as you said.
The world was perfect without humans. Yeah, it's like starting to spoil
Yeah,
it.
that's
Like without
that's
humans
true.
causing climate
We
change.
are the virus. We are the real virus.
Yeah, we
Coming back to our point.
yeah, coming back to the point, you can even revive extinct species like the woolly mammoth or like the
Yeah.
dinosaurs. As you said, Jurassic Park all over again.
In the newspaper, I know a lot of people are going to judge me for reading the newspaper, but in the newspaper, I have seen images of woolly rats. So basically,
Yeah.
the genes of the woolly mammoths, they have tried to put them in the rats, and they've, I would say, successfully made them into woolly rats at this point. So if we can maybe mix it up with some elephant type genes, who knows?
Possible.
The woolly mammoths can come back.
Another thing is possible is what the Jurassic Park thing they hinted at was basically taking DNA from long lost fossils of old mosquitoes,
Yeah.
which used to bite other creatures, and take the blood that might still be safe or like not safe, like it might be still possible to use and repurpose into making a new woolly mammoth or something that the mosquito has bitten actually,
Yeah.
like dinosaurs.
So basically, what we're understanding out of all this discussion is that
Jurassic Park might be coming to you anytime soon, maybe in the
sure,
next
but
decade or so.
what I was trying to say was that this CRISPR isn't just something that is a medical tool. It is probably a planetary bioengineering tool. Right?
Yeah, you can change everything on the planet with that one tool. Yeah,
Yeah,
and let's be real, power like this doesn't stay purely medical.
that's true.
The moment you can edit DNA, people start thinking about enhancements. Kind of like designer babies, the kid in the Jack kid in Incredibles. He probably would grow up to be taller, smarter, faster, stronger than all of his teammates combined. Like teammates, I mean his family. Yeah, technically they are his teammates, but his family combined. Might be a spoiler for Incredibles 3 that's releasing in 2028.
Who knows?
He's basically gonna be Superman.
That's it.
You can edit eye color, athletic ability, even lifespan for us normal humans, not Jack. But yeah, technically possible, ethically not.
And it's not only, but it's very, very expensive. So only the rich would get upgrades like this.
Elon
right?
Musk.
So it's basically a future that is not just divided by wealth, but by biology.
Yeah.
You will have genetic haves and have-nots, not just people who are haves and have-nots because of social differences or economic differences or cultural differences or racial differences,
etc., etc.
etc., etc. That's
Literal genetic class divides.
yeah. And these risks go beyond just inequality. I mean, genes are really interconnected. Fixing one thing just might break another, you never know.
It's again like the food web. Everything's interconnected, everything's linked.
Yeah, if you suppose edit for HIV resistance and maybe you unknowingly affect brain development or continuity, you never know. That's the problem with this.
Yeah, the human immunity system is very important.
Yeah, yeah.
And that might be affected by anything. That's
Or
the most
other
important thing.
bodily functions also might
Yeah,
be
anything,
affected.
anything, literally anything.
Exactly.
Because everything's bio.
Yeah. Wow.
And that's a nightmare that, what are you talking about? Unforeseen consequences that are logged into future generations. Like the
The gene drive, but
yeah, mutations. Like
but a
human-
negative effect in
Yeah.
that. So that gene, the bad gene will basically be passed on.
cascading effect, the
Gene
butterfly
drive.
effect.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct.
And another thing is biosecurity. Because COVID. Like everyone around the world got the virus that was just spread so quickly. That's all. It opens the doors for bioterrorism because CRISPR is cheap and accessible compared to alternatives. And a skilled person with any gene synthesis kit could, in theory, advance and enhance and make dangerous pathogens. That's why governments are worried and
I
people
mean,
also.
If I was that skilled person with those
Gene
at least
editing kits.
with the whatever gene editing kits and resources you talked about, I wouldn't just think about COVID. I'd go something that's much higher, maybe like Resident Evil type of stuff. What if I built a tyrant
Zombie.
or a nemesis? Yeah,
Zombie stuff. Okay, yeah.
T
God.
virus, G virus, bro. All of that.
Look, yeah, so I was saying COVID wasn't like no one made it on purpose, I'm assuming, but
We don't know.
I'm assuming. So
And we
but
don't know
that
when
is
to
just the
comment on
open.
that.
That's just the
That's
opening.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And on top of all of this stuff as well, you've got
Ah.
the patent wars.
Yeah, right. UC Berkeley versus the Broad Institute of MIT and Harvard in Boston.
Whew.
The big names, the big names.
Intellectuals.
Yeah, billions at stake. Billions and billions of lives and billions of dollars. So whoever controls a patent controls the rights to royalties and on therapies, diagnostics, crops,
Everything.
you name it, everything. It's the biotech equivalent of owning the right to electricity itself.
And while these institutions are fighting over money, ordinary people are just hearing gene edited food and they think Frankenfood.
Yeah,
Like
public
it's
perception.
not good for them, like stuff like that.
Public perception is another hurdle.
Yeah.
Some countries treat CRISPR crops as GMOs, which are genetically modified organisms, while others just don't. The regulations are inconsistent because the world is inconsistent. Countries have their divides, and confusion fuels fear. So the more we educate the public about what exactly these things are, so everyone can make their own choice as to whether they would like to eat these genetically modified fruits or vegetables or anything, then that fear of that reduces. So the public is more open to these things.
Yeah. Now let's just zoom out for a bit by just type of synthesizing all of this information.
Yeah.
Suppose this CRISPR tech just keeps advancing. Where do we go in 100 years? Right? That's a big question.
Very big question. Some scientists think that we won't just edit crops or diseases, which we're already doing right now.
Yeah.
We'll edit ourselves, as we've been talking about this entire episode about like Jack, bro. Literally becoming Superman. If you want to colonize Mars, for example, like Elon Musk's dream, oxygen tanks and domes may not be enough. We may need humans that are genetically edited to survive and adapt to new environments with new, like for example, low oxygen, higher radiation
That's true.
capabilities or synthetic diets, kind of like those water bears with their incredible like resilience to anything. They can survive the vacuum of space also.
Basically, we're gene editing humans to adapt to new planets and new
New
environments in
environments,
general.
Yeah.
So that's also awesome, but I guess a little bit terrifying as well, right?
Yeah, it is. And it's not just space. Imagine adapting ourselves for climate change here on Earth itself. Heat tolerance, disease resistance, new metabolisms. So basically, don't stop climate change. Just do anything you can to be resistant to it. I guess I don't know. No, that's not the solution. But yeah, point is, CRISPR point is biology becomes a programmable platform.
Yeah, life is just like open source software. Anybody can fork it, edit it, do whatever they want.
That's a big idea. Life is becoming editable, like code.
Which circles us back to fire.
The circle of life.
Early humans may have discovered fire, and with that unimaginable power or endless possibility, but also danger. And I feel that this is somewhat of a metaphor for this CRISPR situation as well. Because CRISPR is feeling like Fire 2.0 right now.
More like Fire 5.0.
Sure, Fire
Okay.
5.0, but for
5.0 Pro Max.
Ultra Pro Max. But right now, humanity is just a toddler playing with these lit matches that are CRISPR. That is,
Surrounded in a field of dry leaves, waiting to erupt in
oh my
flames.
god, this has gone into philosophy and English talk
Yeah,
rather than one that is supposed to be
literally
more,
English.
a little bit more scientifically engaging, but
Yeah.
nonetheless.
Okay, anyways.
Yeah.
The question is not what we can or could do, but what we should do. Copied your rhyme, basically.
That's true.
Will CRISPR cure diseases and feed billions?
Maybe.
Now the humanity is literally reaching 9 billion. And I think we're projected to reach 10 billion by 2034.
Oh my god.
So the surface area of the planet is the same. It's not reducing because the world is like oceans are reducing in their like height kind of thing. So the surface level is reducing because of climate change. So
It's
yeah, the
water level is
water level is
Our
reducing.
level is
Exactly.
reducing.
Exactly. The land surface area of the land is reducing is what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're still holding out for that 2-hour sleep gene.
Oh, I bet.